What's up, Watch Flyers? David here. Today I'm going to give a review of the award flight search tool called Juicy Miles. I honestly think Juicy Miles is a really good piece of software. I'm going to go over the pros, cons, exactly how to use it, who it's good for, and whether or not you should try it out. Personally, I've been in the points and miles game since 2011. I've done a bunch of award bookings for myself around the world. Also, I used to have an award booking service where I would charge people to book their awards, so I have a lot of experience with booking awards. And when Juicy Miles came out, I was a little skeptical because a bunch of people have tried in the past to create a type of service where you could see the availability of award flights all in one place. But Juicy Miles has succeeded, and I'm really excited to share it with you. Full disclosure, I am not sponsored by Juicy Miles in any way. I'm not being paid by them to do this review, but I do have a referral link down in the description below if you decide to use their service. If you do sign up for it, I do get a little kickback. Besides that, there is no other incentive to make this review. With that out of the way, let's head to my computer and I'll show you exactly how Juicy Miles works. So we are at Juicy Miles. This is what it looks like when you log in, and we're gonna go to, I'll do a little search right here. So we have just like any other search tool, like with Orbit or Kayak or Expedia, you'll be very familiar with this type of search engine. So I'm gonna type in New York to Bangkok sometime in February. You could do a day plus or minus, or the exact day. You could choose business or first class, how many people. So let's click search. So one of the cool things is that it'll load as you're browsing. So even if it's not fully loaded, you can still do it. So the first part of the search comes up on the left here. It'll show you the flexible currencies or the miles and points that you want to use, different programs. So you could sort this out. So let's say I want to sort it out. And when you click refine, you could search for non-stop, one-stop, specific airlines that you want. So if you want to just do certain ones, it has a lot of the different airlines that you could use. And then if you just want to look at the regular booking programs, that's kind of what shows here. So I didn't ask for anything to be refined. So if we look here, it shows the how many points it'll be for each program. So if you have a certain if you only have Chase Ultimate Reward points, American Express membership reward points, or if this is just kind of like a tentative look, like this is a dream trip you want to do for the future, you can see which miles and points would be good. So let's choose American Express membership reward points, since it is a flexible currency and it's 15,000 points and $317 in taxes, which may not be worth it, but just for the sake of this search, we'll see what options we have. So then if we click here, it'll show you the different options you have with the flight. So it'll say how many stops, what the miles and points are. At this part, it doesn't say the taxes, but let's just say we click the top one. And if you see here, it's going to be on Etihad Airways. So it's going to go to JFK to Abu Dhabi, and then Abu Dhabi to Bangkok, and it'll let you know the layover. And so let's say you want this flight. You click search this flight. Then it'll take you to the booking instructions. So let's say this is the exact flight you want, the times work out, the miles price works out, the taxes work out. You would then go to this part, which is the booking instructions. If you don't already have Etihad, it would say you'd have to enroll in Etihad, transfer the points. So as we said, if you have membership, American Express membership reward points, you transfer the points there. That's pretty simple, it gives you instructions. And then to book via Etihad, you could call up Etihad. And so it's simple as that. So let's do another search here, and I'll show you how to get business and first class with this. So let's do another simple one, New York to Paris, and let's click business class. It's gonna be for one person, and we'll click search. So searching economy to a few different places is actually pretty easy because economy seats, there's a lot more award availability, but when it comes to business class, it could be a little more tricky to find award availability, which I think where is Juicy Miles definitely shines. So let's look at the results here. We can look at the points price and then the taxes. So as we saw, we did a flexible currency example there. Let's just say you only have American airline miles. It'll be 57,500 American airline miles. And if we click over, and it says the taxes here is $5.60. Usually with American airline miles, the taxes can be pretty high. I think showing the taxes is a really good feature with Juicy Miles, but it doesn't always show on all the features. So with this example, we're going to do LaGuardia to Paris, Charles de Gaulle. So if we look here, it's 57,500 miles for this exact route. You could search different ones, and as you see, it's American Airlines, British Airways, 57,500 miles one way, and these are the flights. So then to book through, you would just click through, same as before. You can't book the award flights directly on Juicy Miles. So as I showed you with these two examples, it shows you the award availability, the dates, the times, how much the miles price is, how much the taxes are most of the time, and then you would just go to the site yourself and then book it. So most likely, if it's more of like an obscure airline like Etihad or Cathay Pacific, you'll have to go to that specific site and then create a profile there, which is free. It takes 2 minutes. You just punch in your information. Sometimes you have to call up to book the flight. Sometimes you can do it directly on their website. So now we'll discuss who Juicy Miles is good for, and then I'll discuss the pricing options with it. So I think Juicy Miles is great for people who don't want to deal with the headache of booking flights. So on my channel, I talk a lot about different credit cards and travel points, how to earn a lot of different miles with different credit cards, but the redeeming side is a little more complex, which is why I don't really talk about it as much, because it all depends on a specific person's specific goals when using those miles and points. Booking award flights has a ton of complexities. There are different alliances, different partners, and there's sweet spots. There's so many different rules to keep track of. Juicy Miles is super simple. So if you have a destination in mind, you could just look up that destination. If you have a certain loyalty program, airline miles, or flexible currency like Chase and Amex, you could do specific searches with those and find which miles and points will work for the destination you want to go to. So if you're flexible with the destination, then you could search different destinations at different times or different times of the year with Juicy Miles, which I think is really easy and stress-free when it comes to looking for award availability. But if you're just starting out, and let's just say you have United Miles or Delta Miles or American Airline Miles, those airline search interfaces are actually pretty easy to use. You may not need to use Juicy Miles. You could just go to American Airlines if all you have is American Airline miles, or those are the miles you want to use. The search results with Juicy Miles isn't going to be too much different from those 3 legacy carriers. You can just hop on either one of those sites and find award availability that way. So if you have flexible currencies, you can match the results through the travel portal that it offers. If it gives you that option, you can see what the price is through the travel portal compared to what Juicy Miles results are with all the different transfer partners you could use for that specific flexible currency. So before Juicy Miles, when it would come to booking premium seats like business class, first class, it would be a lot more trickier than just using Juicy Miles, because you'd have to go to different airlines to search for different award availability on different sites. It was kind of a puzzle, which is kind of fun, but very time consuming. Juicy Miles makes it super simple when it comes to looking for award availability for premium class seats. All right, so now let's talk about the pricing of Juicy Miles and when it makes sense to pay for it. So if we look here, here is the pricing. You could get a 5-day unlimited auto search pass for $9.99, or per month you could pay $29.99, and this is you could cancel at any time. So it's not like you have to pay for every month. You could just use it 1 month and then cancel it. Then they also offer one-on-one full service booking as well as mileage run as well, which I think is pretty cool that they offer a mileage run service. You don't really see that too often. So when does it make sense to pay for Juicy Miles? I think either way, it's a really good software to try out at least once. I think the $9.99 is definitely worth using just to try out the 5-day unlimited. I think that is good if you're only going to travel 1 or 2 times a year. Spending $10 just to do these searches to see award availability will definitely save you a ton of time, especially if you're new and you're not really sure where to start. Juicy Miles definitely serves as a really good foundation to see what the award availability is, what airlines you're going to use and the different destinations that you could choose and different cabins if you're trying to go for business class, first class. I think Juicy Miles is definitely helpful right there. So if you want to do more searches, you're going to take a few weeks to find where you want to go, the destination, then the $29.99 per month option is a good option. You also get route monitoring with this option as well. So if you are going to do a bunch of award bookings for yourself, or if you're going to do it for friends and family, you want to share this, I think the $29.99 a month could be a good option for you. Either way, I think it's worth a try to use Juicy Miles and see the award availability if you have trips coming up, or even just to play around with the searches to see how it works and how you could get business class, first class. Before Juicy Miles, I used to use a service called Award Hacker, which is similar, but it gives static results. And awardhacker.com is free, but the only problem with free is that it may not be updated. So even if you look at the site at the top, it'll say, not all results are up to date. So that's the problem with a free software. With a paid service like Juicy Miles, you know that they're constantly updating. And also, I've been in touch with Adam, the owner, and there are more features coming out with this. Some cons of Juicy Miles is that not all award availability is accurate. It doesn't always show the taxes and fuel surcharges, so certain routes can be really expensive, like using British Airways to get to Europe. It may be cheap miles price, but when it comes to the fuel surcharges, it could be like $300, $500. It doesn't show that in the software. To sum it up, I think Juicy Miles is definitely worth a try, and I'm really impressed with it. I use it on a regular basis for my searches, especially to see availability rather than having to log in to a bunch of different accounts. So like I said, if you want to try Juicy Miles out, I have a referral link down in the description below. So if you want to learn more about award bookings, you could click this link right over here. If you want to learn more about travel points and how to get started with it, you can click this over here. It's a playlist to help you get started. So click one of those links right now, and I'll see you in the next video.